In 2026, a 24-year-old barista in Ohio turned $40 a week into a six-figure portfolio. Not by picking the next hot stock, not by gambling on crypto at 2 a.m. She did something almost nobody talks about. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it was and why waiting even one more month could cost you thousands. But here's the uncomfortable part. Most people watching this right now are making the exact opposite move, and they don't even know it. I want you to picture your bank app right now, not a stranger's, yours. That number sitting there, is it working for you, or is it just sitting? Because here's the truth, banks don't put in bold letters. Money that isn't invested isn't safe. It's shrinking, quietly, every single day. Inflation in 2026 means the $1,000 sitting in your checking account will buy noticeably less by 2030. You're not standing still. You're losing ground in slow motion. I'm going to walk you through exactly how beginners are investing in 2026, the real strategy, not the Instagram version. But first, I need to tell you about two people. Same starting income. Same age. One of them retired with almost nothing. The other retired with over $1.2 million. The difference between them wasn't luck. It wasn't even income. It was one decision, made in their 20s, that most people never make. Stick with me, because that decision is coming up in the next few minutes, and it's not what you think. Let's go back to that barista. Her name doesn't matter. What matters is her math. She made $17 an hour. After rent, after groceries, after everything, she had about $40 left every week. Most people would call that nothing to invest. She called it enough to start. She opened a brokerage account, set up an automatic transfer of $40 every Friday, and put it into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. She didn't check it daily. She didn't panic when the market dropped 11% in a single month. She just kept the transfer running. 5 years later, that account wasn't just bigger. It had started growing faster than her paycheck ever could. And that's when something strange happened. The money started making more in a year than she used to make in 3 months of work. Here's the twist almost. Nobody explains properly. For the first several years, compound growth looks boring. Almost insultingly slow. That's the trap. Most beginners quit right before the curve bends upward. Money invested doesn't just grow, it grows on its own growth. $1 invested in your 20s can be worth more at retirement than $5 invested in your 40s. Not because you did more work later, because you gave it more time to compound. Now, investing in 2026 isn't the same as it was for your parents. Interest rates have shifted. AI-driven markets move faster and react harder to news. Fractional shares mean you can own a piece of a $900 stock for $5. And apps have made investing nearly frictionless, which is exactly why discipline matters more than ever, not less. But there's a catch buried inside all this convenience. The same apps that make investing easy also make gambling easy. And thousands of beginners are confusing the two right now, without realizing it. Meet the other person from earlier, the one who retired with almost nothing, despite making good money most of his life. He wasn't reckless. He just did one thing differently. Every time the market dropped, he pulled his money out. Every time it recovered, he waited for more proof before getting back in. He wasn't losing money because the market failed him. He was losing money because he kept leaving right before it paid him back. And here's the part that should worry you. This isn't rare. This is the single most common mistake beginner investors make in 2026, and it's almost invisible until it's already cost you years. Before we get to the framework, I need to clear out 3 lies that are probably sitting in your head right now, because they were sitting in mine. Myth 1. I need a lot of money to start. You don't. Fractional investing means you can buy a slice of almost anything with the cost of a lunch. Myth 2. I need to understand the market first. You don't need to predict the market, you need to survive it, and survival is a behavior, not a skill. Myth 3. It's too late for me. It's not. The best time to start was years ago. The second best time is the 11 minutes it takes to finish this video. Here's what nobody tells you though. Believing even one of these myths can cost you more than a bad investment ever could. Because a bad investment loses you money once. A myth like this loses you time every single year you believe it. So here's the framework. The one thing I'd tell anyone starting from zero in 2026. First, build a small emergency cushion before you invest $1, even $500. Changes how calmly you handle a market drop. Second, use a low-cost, broad index fund as your foundation, not a single stock someone told you about online. Third, automate it. Decide the amount once and let it repeat without you having to feel brave every week. Fourth, ignore the daily noise. The goal isn't to predict this month, it's to still be invested 10 years from now. That's it. That's the whole secret the barista knew that the other man didn't. It's almost frustratingly simple, which is exactly why so many people skip it looking for something more exciting. Now let me show you something that surprised even me when I first saw it laid out side by side. 3 coworkers. Same starting point, $5,000. Same year, they each invested it differently. The first put it all into a single trending stock a friend recommended. The second put it into cryptocurrency chasing headlines. The third put it into a boring diversified index fund and never touched it. 3 years later, the first had lost almost 60%. The second was up wildly for 6 months, then crashed back down to nearly break even. The third, the boring one, was up modestly, steadily, without a single sleepless night. Here's the twist. The boring account wasn't the slowest. Over time, it was the only one that never forced its owner to make an emotional decision. And in investing, the emotional decision is almost always the expensive one. But here's the twist nobody puts in beginner guides. The biggest risk in 2026 isn't a market crash, it's comfort. It's the version of you that plans to start next month forever. Every month you wait isn't a neutral pause, it's a decision. A decision to let the version of you at retirement have less, so the version of you today doesn't have to feel the small discomfort of starting. Let's do the actual math, because vague encouragement doesn't build wealth, numbers do. If you invest $150 a month starting today, at a historical average market return, you could be looking at roughly 6 figures by your late 30s, depending on when you start. Start 10 years later with the exact same amount, and that number can fall by more than half. Same effort, same discipline, same $150. The only difference is time and time is the one resource this video can't get back for you. It's the only ingredient in this entire strategy you cannot buy more of later. So here's the question I actually want you to sit with. If you started today with whatever amount you have, even if it's $40, where would you be in 5 years? Not guessing, not hoping, just doing the quiet, boring, repeatable thing that barista did. Because the truth is, nobody becomes wealthy by timing the market perfectly. They become wealthy by being unremarkable, consistent, and patient for longer than everyone else was willing to be. Now I said the barista's strategy was simple. What I didn't tell you is what happened 3 years in, when she almost quit. There was one specific moment where her account lost 12% in a single week, and everything in her told her to pull out. What she did next is the real reason she ended up wealthy, and it has nothing to do with investing. It's a decision most people get completely wrong when markets turn red. I'm breaking that exact moment down next, because if you don't understand it now, no strategy in this video will save you when it happens to you.